Rock Island Armory is just one of those companies that keeps making cool products. But what I really love about Rock Island Armory is it doesn't break the bank. That's one of the great things. It's a really very reasonably priced 1911. And it's one of the things that Martin Towson, the CEO of Rock Island Armory, that really wants to do, is to make 1911s available for the average shooter. And that's what he's done. I mean, the standard 1911s from Rock Island Armory are just excellent. But, you know, a while back I did a review on the 22 TCM. I did on the wide body, I did that review a couple of years ago. But a couple of months ago, did one on their standard Government and Commander 1911s. Now they have the railed versions. These are excellent. They have the accessory rails on the front. They're just a really exceptional looking 1911 variant, and there's a lot of cool features about this gun. Now, one of the great things is that the 22 TCM is, you know, it's kind of one of those calibers that's really different, but it's really innovative, and it's really doing a lot in the market. I mean, these are really selling like crazy. But, you know, there are times where you might not be able to find 22 TCM, and that's one of the great things that Martin's done, is added a 9mm barrel and recoil spring, and these have conversion kits. All you do is change out the barrel, the recoil spring, and you're ready to go with 9mm, which is extremely plentiful and all over, so very common. It's one of those kind of guns that you can buy it for the 9mm, but then you have a bonus of the 22 TCM, and buddy, is this a bonus. The 22 TCM is running about 2,000 feet per second out of a pistol, and that's just incredible. It's a 40 grain bullet. I've done the review, and I'm going to list it right here for you to look at. I'll have it annotated right here, so I'm not going to go into a lot of the specifics of the 22 TCM or the conversion. I mean, here it is. You get 2 magazines. They are stainless steel. They're excellent quality magazines. In the past, one of the things to me that's been an Achilles heel of the Rock Island Armory line is their magazines were of okay quality. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't, and they really upped their game. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and make sure the guns are unloaded. And they are. Now, TCM stands for Towson Craig Micro Mag, and this is an incredible high velocity caliber. I mean, with the first video, I blew up a bunch of watermelons, and I've done that before with the original video. They just explode on impact. Water jugs explode on impact. Well, I decided to do something a little different. Considering this is an accessory rail, this is perfect for nighttime shooting. And so what we've done, we've taken a number of different night lights, put them on here, and shot them. Now, one of the other things we've done is to shoot it without any light. And one of the cool things about this pistol is it shoots out a really large fireball. Sometimes your eyes don't capture it because it just flashes, but the camera did pick it up a couple of times where it was about 6 or 7 feet. I mean, it was coming out the end of the barrel like a dragon's breath. Just a really dynamic blast of light. You know, and a lot of guys will say, well, that'll destroy your night vision. Well, it didn't. I was shooting steel, and with the flash going, I was still shooting steel. You know, anytime you shoot, there's going to be a flash, and in dark, low light situations. But, you know, I'll tell you what, this is really one of those guns that's just a ton of fun at the range.
Did you see that fireball on that screen? You weren't watching the screen, but that thing lit up.
I'm just hoping it caught that. The magazines hold 10+1 of 22 TCM, or they hold 10 rounds of 9mm. These are not 9mm magazines. They're actually 38 Super Mags, and they function the 9mm just perfectly. In fact, out of shooting all the rounds that I shot, which actually I've shot about 600 rounds of the 22 TCM. 600 rounds with no malfunctions. The 9mm, I've shot about 300 rounds, no malfunctions. I mean, the guns just work. So if you're going to order extra magazines, you'll need to order the 38 Super. And that's what I've done right here. This is one of the Wilson 38 Super mags. And just an exceptional quality. I wanted to try these out. Works like a champ. And really though, the standard Rock Island Armory mags, excellent. They work like a champ. Now it does have a really nice parkerized finish. It's very matte gray. Has VZ G10 grips, and these are really exceptional grips. Excellent texturing with the thumb groove, and it just really fits the hand. Of course, the 1911 is just a really ergonomic pistol anyway. Flat mainspring housing that's checkered, has very exceptional checkering. It is metal. The beaver tail has the memory notch, and it comes up as a very high ride beaver tail. This allows you to get way up on the pistol. Commander hammer has a skeletonized competitive trigger with a adjustment screw right here. Has a mag well. In fact, you can take the grips off and pull the mag well right off. Has ambi safety on both sides. These are extended, and it makes it just really positive and really nice. The sights are exceptional. We have 2 dots back here that's fully adjustable, and then on the front we have fiber optic. And this really shows up during the day with the white and then the contrast of the fiber optic out front. It's really nice. The slide release, checkered as well, very well done. I mean, the checkering is just very pinpoint. The accessory rail, though, is just unbelievable. I mean, they've brought out the frame, they've beefed it up. You know, it has 3 sections of Picatinny rail. It'll fit any kind of light you can put on here. And then with the large enlarged frame right here, the slide just meets it very well. I mean, it's just a beautiful gun. And in fact, when I first went to pick up this model, I just had to stop for a minute because it was just so massive. Now the recoil on the 22 TCM is mild to say the least. I mean, it's almost shooting like 22 long rifle. Because of the weight of these pistols, it's really just very minimal. Even the 9mm. This is the government length slide. It's a 5-inch barrel, and it weighs 42.5 ounces without the magazine. The Commander version, which has a 4-inch barrel, it weighs 39.6 ounces. So these are fairly weighty handguns. But because of that, there is zero felt recoil. I mean, it's just really mild. The government model does have serrations right here at the front of the slide, so you're able to bring it back. Now you can see how easy that is to come back anyway. With the 22 TCM recoil spring in here, it's just light, and it needs to be because it has a 40 grain bullet that's coming out. But because of the case, it has a lot of firepower. Here on the Commander version, it is smooth on the front, and of course it has really nice deep serrations on the back. And again, really easy. Especially for a female shooter. Now, as far as the ballistics, and I talked about this in the first video, but the ballistics of the 22 TCM, because of the velocity versus the weight, it really falls about in the middle between the 380 ACP and a 9mm in ballistics. And so you've got a pretty decent self-defense round right here, especially for the elderly or for those that have weak hands. This could be an excellent option for a home defense gun. And of course, with the ball of fire that comes out the end, if you didn't hit him, you'd scare him to death. Now we're going to go ahead and convert this to 9mm from the 22 TCM. And of course, first thing we do is make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. First thing we want to do is to take our guide rod plug, push it down, and bring around our barrel bushing. Now that's under tension, so be careful. Now bring your bushing back around. Go ahead and you can pull your bushing off at this point. Now we're going to bring the slide back, and then right at this notch right here, just push your slide stop through, and then just bring your slide off. It does have a full-length guide rod. Go ahead and get those teeth around, and then it'll bring it right out. It's a little tricky at first. Then you have your recoil spring. Don't confuse your 22 recoil spring with your 9mm. Your 9mm is going to have a heavier recoil spring, and it's going to need that. Bring the barrel length down, and then just bring the barrel straight out. One thing to note too is the barrel is supported. It's ramped, which makes it easier for it to feed, and then also it's built up and heavily supported right here. And a lot of 1911 barrels, especially the originals, just had a little bit of a larger lip right here and not all this support. Now we're going to take our standard barrel, our 9mm barrel, we're going to put it into place, bring our link up, take the recoil spring, place it over your full-length guide rod, set it right here. Now we're going to go ahead and return it to our frame. When you're bringing your barrel back, you want to make sure that your link is in place to put your slide stop. And then bring it back to that little notch and then close it in. Now we're going to bring it forward. Now to return the barrel bushing, you'll notice there's a little notch right here, and that's going to fit right in this groove under the barrel. So you almost have it at like a 5 o'clock position. Like so. Then manipulate the spring just to go ahead and get that bushing around like this. And that's the way you're going to be able to put in your recoil guide rod plug. And then bring it back around, depress it, snaps into place. You're good to go. Now we have the 9mm barrel, and we can take it out to the range and fire 9mm all day long if we happen to run out of 22 TCM, but it's again getting more and more popular. And there are a lot of companies that carry this and keep it in stock. Now here are a number of lights that we've used on the 22 TCM, the Enforce, the Viridian with the laser. This is the Surefire X300 Ultra, and then the TLR1 HL. And of course they mount very easily. One thing I do like about the full length of the government model is that you can set your light back farther. And of course, even with this Commander model, I mean, this Enforce rides really close in. And that's one of the things, I don't really like them sticking out. So it's got enough rail to be able to get it where you want to. In fact, I think there's another rail section right here, so we could even bring this back farther. But still, with your trigger finger, it's not very difficult at all to hit those switches. And you can see how well the finish is. I mean, everything is finished very well, very smooth. Even though this is, I wouldn't really call this a budget 1911, I would call it a reasonable 1911 because the quality is just exceptional. And you know, I think you're going to find that with all the current Rock Island Armory products. Guys, I own 7 different Rock Island Armory pistols, and every one of them function extremely well. I've not had one issue out of them. So if you're on the fence, you know, because sometimes you do, you look at something, you say, well, maybe that's a budget pistol, maybe it's, you know, the quality's not there. The quality control processes for Rock Island Armory are in place. They just make exceptional pistols, and their manufacturing process is state-of-the-art, and that's one of the reasons why they can bring these products for the prices they do. So it's just a really exceptional pistol. Now, if you really want to go more in depth, again, I did a review on the standard government and Commander models of the 22 TCM 9mm conversion. There's a lot of details in there that may not be in this video, and I'll have it annotated right here again for you to click on. Now, the retail price on the Tactical Ultra 22 TCM conversion is $867. That's the retail price. Had a good friend of mine just bought one for $650 on Gunbroker. So there's a lot of great sources out there to be able to find the 22 TCM for a very reasonable price. $650 for 2 different calibers, all the different features, VZ grips, the fiber optic sight, the beaver tail, the ambi safety, the magwell. I mean, there's just so many things on this pistol. It's just phenomenal how he can put these out for that kind of price. And I'll tell you what, guys, once you shoot that 22 TCM, you're going to be hooked. It is a lot of fun.
There ain't no recoil to it.
No.
Yeah, I'll have that gun in 2
That
weeks.
is sweet, man.
Hey, I'll have that. God, that ain't got hardly no recoil. God. I love that.
That's my. Oh yeah.
Man, that's good.
Damn. I know that's cool.
The flame, you can see the flame coming out of that sucker.
Now, one of the things I've been trying to do is to bring up a couple of points that I like, a couple of points that I don't like about the pistol, about whatever I'm reviewing. I will say that one of the big things that I like about this pistol is that it has the 9mm conversion. If it was just 22 TCM, I'd be a little skeptical because I may or may not be able to get 22 TCM now, possibly, but maybe in the future. And so you've got the 9mm barrel, and really for that kind of price, you can't find a decent 1911 for that price without the 22 TCM. So I think that's exceptional. The other thing I really like are the added features. I mean, there's so many different features on this gun that if you bought separately would cost quite a bit of money, a couple of $100s. I mean, the sights, the grips alone are about $60. And the beaver tail, the hammer, I mean, all these things add up quickly, and they're already on this pistol. Really, there's nothing really to add to this pistol, and I guess that's really what I like as well as anything. A couple of things that I don't like, you know, I'm really having a hard time thinking about it. I think maybe the weight is a little, I would like to see maybe a version that has maybe aluminum frame. That would be kind of nice. With the 22 TCM, it's so light anyway. And so that might be something that would be good in the future. As far as anything else, guys, I'm at a total loss. So if you have something, leave it down below. But I'm telling you what, if you like 1911s, I mean, one thing is if you don't really like the old school, if you just like polymer frame, new pistols, that might be something. But who cannot like a 1911? At least, not necessarily for a tactical situation, but to have one of the classics, the all-time classics, one of the longest serving firearms of our U.S. military history. And so it's just a great option. So the Rock Island Armory 1911 is just exceptional in all the different calibers that they produce. But I will say one thing about the weight. Man, this thing just fits and feels good. The balance is just exceptional. So, guys, I'm at a loss. The Rock Island Armory 22 TCM, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Getting one of the magazine release, buffer spring plug right here. Oh, that's not a buffer spring. Okay, that was a brand new gun with the 9mm. And for a few of you critics out there, no, I'm not being paid to do this review. I don't get paid to do any reviews. I just love this pistol. I do like it.
In the dead of night, love bites.